you guys are married, right?
Yes.
What is logical about that? That makes no sense. Who, and I've been married almost 43 years, who in his right mind would get married? On the other hand, you know, we live our lives illogically, but beautifully. It's like I said before with regard to music. You're listening to music, you know what the music is, you're conscious of it, and at some point your mind wanders and you're still listening to the music, but you're not aware of it, and you think of something else. We live on 2 different planes, sometimes 3 different planes, all at the same time in different realities. And while this may sound a little like, the reality is that's how we live our lives. And anyone who thinks that we live rationally and that there is an answer, an explanation for everything is, from my point of view, kidding themselves. What has made me most comfortable as a Jew is realizing how many answers I don't have, and that that's okay. And that it's the journey of looking for those answers that is far more important than the answers. Because as I go through the journey of looking for the answers, I find out all kinds of things about myself and life I never would have found. And to me, that's where life has its meaning. It's in the search. It's not in the finding. Just kind of philosophical, you know, that's me. Did I make anybody crazy in here?
Answering questions with questions.
That's it. Try that with a police officer when they're going to give you a tip. Okay. So, desire to live with near kin. 3, desire to relate to many generations of past dead. 4, way of giving hope to desire that evil in the world will be made just. That's very important. But it's totally different from the one of being able to continue to live on with your beloved kin. You see, but they're both very strong human yearnings and pulls and needs. God, I mean, you look at the Holocaust. Yeah, the Nazis lost. But still, what about those victims who didn't deserve what happened to them? Will there be any recompense for them? 5, promise the afterlife will be good if you have to give up this life. That's kind of the fear aspect. You know, 6, acceptance of orthodox belief. Some people believe and want to believe there's an afterlife because that's what my religion teaches. Done, no questions. Not bad if that's very satisfying to you. The desire to know that the meaning and deeds of life extend beyond our years. Again, yet another yearning. That we're not here for nothing. It's kind of an affirmation of the fact that we did have meaning in life, and that whatever meaning and place we have was an important link in the ongoing chain of life. 8, fulfillment of intellectual curiosity. 9, need to sense that life in some form continues after death. One's intellectual, one's spiritual and psychological. For those who believe there is no afterlife, 10, death is absolute. And if I had to guess, I would say that at least 40% of the Jews today believe this is it, and it could be closer to 65 or 70. And the only way they feel comfortable as a Jew is that it's okay for them to say that anything regarding an afterlife is absolute nonsense, and when you're dead and you're worm food. That's it. You want to hear a really yucky pun?
That wasn't a rhetorical question. That answer is no.
That's kind of like, this really smells bad.
You're going to miss it.
Okay,
Sometimes you wonder when the hearse comes by. Have you heard this one?
Yeah.
That you may be the next one to die. They wrap you up in a clean white sheet, and everything goes goes all right for a week, but then your coffin starts to leak. Your heart caves in, your eyes pop out, little green bugs run in and out, pus pours out like whipping cream. You lap it up on a piece of bread, and that's what you eat. That's not on this. Yes.
What about cremation, now that you talked about?
Officially in Judaism, cremation is not allowed because the idea is that the body returns naturally to dust, back to its origins, and that also you're not supposed to mar the body in any way. And if you, let's say, lose a limb, you're supposed to bury that, and then when the individual dies, that limb is to be disinterred and reburied with the whole body. Now, that being said, most conservative rabbis and all Orthodox rabbis will not do a funeral with cremation. It has always been okay with Reform Judaism. So there are a few times when I've done a funeral for a conservative colleague from one of the conservative congregations because they are not allowed by their rules to do it. It was a 9-year-old girl with leukemia. And I just, I don't like to go in, even if they ask me to go into another rabbi's congregation and do something for them that he or she won't do for them. But in this case, I just felt that with the parents and the family, and it was the girl's dying wish, I just felt that that was the time the principle had to be put aside. And so I went ahead and did it. I may have had it 2 or 3 times in 40 years.
What about being buried in a Jewish cemetery? What are the rules on that? Like, you can't be buried there if you're cremated.
That's correct, except we do in ours.
And what if you're convert to Judaism? Can you be buried in a Jewish
Sure.
cemetery?
Because you're Jewish.
I know we read about the rules on burying amputated limbs, but what about surgery, like if you have resectioning of or something?
Well, the thing,
Like try to.
I think that what soft tissue is going to, unless you specifically preserve it, soft tissue is going to disappear. So I think they mean, hard assets, so to speak, is really what they're talking about. However, there's an interesting thing here, and that is, what if you take out somebody's a kidney transplant? You're allowed to take out that organ because, one, it doesn't die. They keep it alive. Then it goes into another body and is transplanted, continues to live. Therefore, organ transplant is okay in all of Judaism, and you don't have to somehow go back and get it and then put it back to the original person because it never died. Yes?
Is it true that you can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery if you have tattoos?
No. This is, it depends who you talk to. It could be seen as marring the body, but they've used that more to scare teenagers, parents to scare their teenagers than really anything. I mean, I guess it could be seen as marring. Now, but most rabbis would say it's still okay. But the big deal is in Israel with regard to, I don't know, Rabbi Simon into this, but autopsies. They don't allow autopsies unless there's criminal activity and it's ordered by the court. Generally, there's no autopsy. And of course, there's no embalming. Yeah.
What about abortion?
Abortion is allowed only if the head, it's only allowed at the time of giving birth, as long as the head and shoulders of the baby have not yet emerged from the birth canal and the mother's life is at risk. Then the baby is sacrificed for the mother. Once the head and shoulders have emerged from the birth canal, then Jewish law says they fight it out and whoever wins, wins.
But
So
early
only
on,
therapeutic. Now, that being being said, Reform and Conservative Judaism generally allow it, but say you have to be very, very careful with it. It shouldn't be used as a method of birth control. And they use an interesting case. As you know, there's capital punishment within Judaism, and one of them is hanging. And there was a case where there was a concern that a pregnant mother was, a pregnant woman was given the judgment was capital punishment, she was to be hung. But the fear was that when they hanged her, in the trauma of the hanging, she might give birth instantaneously. And it would be embarrassing to her. And I know that sounds strange, but then the rabbis go back and then say, but therefore the feelings of the mother, her emotional feelings, can play a part in this. Therefore, today, if a mother says, I can't take care of this child, I can't go through childbirth, we listen to the mother. But Orthodox, still absolutely not just therapeutic to save the life of the mother if the head and shoulders hang. Number 11, intellectual knowledge that there must be more than this life. 12, emotional need to know there's more to this life. And 13, need to be part of the continuity of generations. So you can see there's 13 different reasons that we have picked up over the centuries for people wanting an afterlife, and they're not all related to each other. So, again, I prefer to err on the side of I don't know. I like to believe that life continues. It certainly continues for me through memory of the people, and I feel their presence at the times I need to feel it. Beyond that, I don't know. But in Judaism, the biggest factor is the view that this world is more important than the next. What was the old saying? You only go around once in life. This is the world we know. This is the world that needs fixing and repair. Tikkun olam. This is the world we worry about and do our best in. And as I said, in the next life will take care of itself. Come on in. Okay. Any other questions? We're just talking about things.
I heard.
Yeah. Any other
Very
questions?
uplifting
Yeah.
night.
How do we explain,
They said that the lecture was deadly.
how do we explain when somebody is autistic and 15-year-old, never been to Germany, speaks German, or plays Beethoven, never took a music lesson? How do you explain that? Is there some kind of a mistake that somebody made somewhere?
You know, I think there are lots of things that happen in the formation of a human being in the process of that 9-month period. And a lot of things happen in the brain that when that person is born, we can say they're abnormal in general, but they may have one part of the brain where they're able to pick things up as if they've never had a lesson. We have one in our congregation, a young man who actually has now finished USF, but it was very, very hard. Not gifted intellectually. He had great challenges in terms of academic work. And he started coming here from the time that he was probably 7 or 8. His mother's a music teacher, and she never went over music with him in general, but she would hear him he would hear her teach. And it just appears that that part of his brain is super developed. And one day the doorbell rang, and he said, listen, Mommy, it's a C. He comes to services, and after being here on 3 different Friday nights, is able to get up on our organ and just play by ear. And he makes a living today, and I'm not going to say who he is, but you see him all the time. And he makes a living playing the piano, and he never does read